Don't lose your way, your mind. We have to be as one.
Hey, what's going on YouTube? Warstorm here, coming at you guys with another discussion video today. So today we're going to be talking about Ultimaya Tzolken and Psy-framelord Omega. This is going to be split into two different portions. We're going to talk about where should these cards in the next format, if they do get hit, where should they go on the ban list. Now, Ultimaya Tzolken obviously is becoming a more prevalent card that a lot of us are having to stare down. If you don't know what Ultimaya Tzolken is, it's basically a level 12, it's treated as level 12 synchro, and it is made with two monsters, a non-tuner and a tuner, that are the same level. So there are very efficient ways. Now, when Ultimaya first came out, one of the very few ways you could get it out was in Heretics. You summon a Heretic, you basically go Tefnuit, Tribute Offisu, Special Labradorite, bam, you got Ultimaya. But as the format's gone on, we've got more ways to summon it. Blackwing Gofu was recently released, and Metal Foes have a very efficient way to make Ultimaya Tzolken. If you open any Metal Foe in Gofu, you can basically make Tzolken. But is Tzolken really a problem, or is it what it brings out? And let's talk about it. Crystal Wing Synchro Dragon is the cover card for Shining Victories. Is a card all of us have had to deal with, all of us have had to stare down, and it's a pretty annoying card to deal with. Not only can it negate any monster effect, but if you try to battle it with a monster that's a level 5 or higher, it's going to beat over it. It's a very difficult card to deal with, and especially, and it's only going to get better because in Speedroids, they are getting more support in Raging Tempest with the Wind Witches. You've got Ice Spell, which can make it impervious to being destroyed by Dark Hole and Regeki. But we have to ask ourselves, is Crystal Wing Synchro Dragon the problem, or is Ultimaya Tzolken? Tzolken is definitely the problem, because I can see Tzolken is very similar to what happened with Tellarknight Ptolemaeus. If you guys remember Ptolemaeus, it was a generic rank 4 that basically by detaching 3 exchange materials, you can rank up into any rank 5 on either player's turn. Not only could you make Infinity on your turn, but you can make Ladies on your opponent's turn and to disrupt their plays. And that's one of the reasons Ptolemaeus is banned. And a lot of people said, everything from Infinity is a problem, Ptolemaeus is a problem, but Konami clearly saw Ptolemaeus making Infinity too generic was definitely the problem. I think Tzolken is kind of on the same category here. A lot of the other stuff that Ultimaya Tzolken can bring out isn't as good as what Crystal Dragon is. Crystal Wing Synchro Dragon does. Yes, there's Moonlight Rose Dragon. Yes, there's Stardust and Stardust Spark Dragon. Yes, there's Red Dragon Archfiend Scarlet. Are these cards as good as Crystal Wing Synchro Dragon? Absolutely not. That's one of the reasons Crystal Wing Synchro Dragon isn't a generic synchro like Omega, which we'll get to later, because it has very, very powerful effects, and I think Konami saw that they couldn't make this card generic, and I think they did. It is somewhat generic in some decks. Without Ultimaya Tzolken, there's not as easy ways to bring it out. And I definitely think that if they do address either card, Ultimaya Tzolken is going to have to get banned. And it's not something I want to see happen. There's a lot of that Cyber Angel Heretic 50-card deck that I've just profiled for you guys. It's one of the most fun decks I've built in a long time. And however, in order of these two cards, which one is clearly the problem? Clearly Ultimaya definitely is the problem. Could I see Ultimaya getting banned? Absolutely. Part of me does not want to see it happen, but honestly, I think it may need to happen for the good of the game to keep Crystal Wing, in its decks, which are Speedroids, which are Dragunities, which are decks that have to make extra plays to go into it. And of course, the second card we're going to talk about is Psy-framelord Omega. This card was recently limited in the OCG, and it's definitely a card that I would like to see limited here. A lot of cards I do think that are on the ban list, such as Laval Chain, could comfortably come to 1 and not be a problem, and I feel like Omega is similar in this spec. Omega has 3 really powerful effects. However, the main one that makes multiples being a problem is the fact it can loop your opponent's hand. The fact is, the new Dark Synchro deck that you're seeing running around in the TCG with 3 Allure Darknesses and Gofu, etc., and there's a lot of different variations on the deck, the deck can hand loop you first turn, and that's what makes the deck very scary, is that how it can hand loop you first turn. And that's definitely something that, the deck doesn't need to do that, but the fact that it can probably means Omega needs to go down to 1. I feel like Omega kind of fits in a category very similar to Ignister, where Ignister had 2 really, really powerful effects. Being able to special summon, basically spin any card your opponent controls for free by special summoning a Draco Slayer from your deck that could be Pendulum Summoned again and do more stuff. Clearly it was a problem at multiples because it made Harbinger almost too consistent to go into. It needed to go to 1, and I feel like Omega being at 1 would be fine, because we don't want to, as much as some of you guys out there dislike Psy-frames, I don't want to hit a rogue deck and completely murder it into the ground And I feel like Omega going to 1 would be fine. Most decks can deal with 1 less card in their hand. Most decks can't, however, play Yu-Gi-Oh! With only 2 cards in their hand and then 3 2800 beaters returning to the field on the following turn. I do think that for both of these cards, I definitely think that Ultimaya being banned would probably be what needs to happen to slow down these problems, and Psy-framelord Omega going to 1 definitely would not, if both of these things happen, I would definitely not balk at either. So anyway, guys, as always, thank you guys for watching the video today. Really appreciate when you guys watch my videos, and on Tuesday, Thursday, Fridays for more Yu-Gi-Oh! Content. And if you'd like to stop this video, please subscribe. So, Warstorm, signing out.